Welcome to another episode of Sacred Reviews. In this episode, we'll be taking a look at another RPG Maker game simply known as The War on Christmas. A short little title that sells itself as a strategy game and comedic experience, making fun of the claims by Fox News about war on the season. Plot-wise, the game's a bit on the weak side since there isn't much of a plot to be had. But delivery of the setup through a Star Wars-esque text crawl is appreciated at least. Outside of the opening text crawl, the game has little in terms of plot, since the rest of the text beyond the epilogue is simply mission debriefings. This doesn't mean the game can't be a bit witty with them, but most of the humor is from the sheer absurdity of the situation. And that absurdity is clearly expressed in this short clip from one of Dark Matter 2525's videos making fun of Rick Perry.
As president, I promise to end the war. The quagmire that America has been stuck in for years. That's right, I'm talking about the war on Christmas. Last year at my nephew's school, there were 54 children participating in the Christmas play. This year, there's only 52. 52. Don't think we don't see what you're doing, Obama.
Sadly, because of the nature of the content of this game, it has rather little lasting appeal. In fact, I'd argue that the game's novelty wears off after the first playthrough, which means the game doesn't have a lot of replay value in terms of the lulls. Graphically speaking, the game is rather weak, and that's probably being generous since everything in the game is a still image. Even when you engage the enemy, the only thing to indicate who attacked and who took damage are flashes of red and green on the images. In short, the game just lacks any real appeal in the visual department besides a few laughs at the image of Raptor Jesus, and even that isn't particularly funny since I've seen it dozens of times before. Sound-wise, the game only contains a few musical scores, but even on the highest difficulty setting, the game only lasts a little over an hour, so there isn't a lot of reason to have more than a few MIDI soundtracks of holiday songs anyway. And considering my general opinion on holiday songs in general is rather low, I'd rather forget that even those exist. I will admit that it's sort of disappointing that the game lacks any sort of volume control though, or I should say that the game lacks any options besides on or off when it comes to such things. The game also includes a few little voice clips for each of the units as well, but many of them are nonsensical, such as tanks and airplanes telling you to look at their faces and so on. And to be honest, those voices are more annoying than funny in my opinion, which leaves my overall opinion of this section rather low as well. On the gameplay side of things, the game is somewhat mixed, I guess. On one hand, the game does contain at least the basics of a strategy game, but it's highly lacking in terms of depth. About the only major positive, the game comes with 5 difficulty settings, which are easy, normal, hard, insane, and you can't explain that! And to be honest, even the most difficult setting is rather easy, since the only real strategy in this game is to simply select a single target and pound away on it. And while some may counter with the fact that the game includes 4 types of weaknesses, I counter with the fact that they just have little impact on the game at the highest setting. In fact, they have so little impact that the deciding factors are usually numerical superiority in conjunction with units with high health. The only real game changer in the higher settings is that both sides can make use of reinforcements in order to gain a tactical advantage. But that just goes back to my complaint about the lack of deciding factor in this game beyond numbers or high health, especially since the human player has access to far more reinforcement units than the AI does. I also question the movement system to a degree as well. While the game allows you to pass through your own units, which is sort of expected in a game like this, it also allows both you and the AI to walk through each other's units, which makes pinning down a unit more difficult, but does make positioning units a bit easier. On one hand, it makes a little sense in my perspective for a unit to simply pass through another unit without taking any damage or anything, though. Another slight issue with the game is that the ultimate unit for the Happy Holiday side is vastly superior to that of the Merry Christmas side. This is because the Happy Holiday side can make any unit switch sides even if that unit is meant to be a boss-like enemy. I guess one could counter with the fact that the ultimate unit for the other side can one-hit kill anything, but that isn't as useful as being able to gain additional units on the battlefield in order to gain a numerical superiority, in addition to giving you additional attack power with units that are well-positioned to attack their former comrades. After all those complaints, though, I'd like to end on one more positive note before finishing this review. The only other real positive is that you can save after every mission, which is sort of disappointing since that should be a standard feature in any game of this type. The War on Christmas is a rather weak game when all things are considered. It easily marks itself as a novelty game and has all the appeal of a fad. It quickly goes out of style and should just be thrown in the recycling bin after your first playthrough.